Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me here today. As you can see behind me, we got a little bit of snow here in the St. Louis, Missouri area. Quite nuts actually how much we got. Happy to say for the little bit of driving that I did in my Model X, it did extremely well. That's not really what I'm here to talk to you about today. You might notice behind me, this is not a Model X. It is in fact a Model Y. If you're wondering why I'm driving this Model Y, it's because my Model X is in for service at 14,000 miles. And today I'm going to tell you why it's in for service, but first, let's get out of the cold. So before we get into the situation with the Model X, let me just say I haven't been in a Model Y since, let's see, I got my X in May of 2024, and I sold my Y just before I got the X. Early part of May is the last time that I was in a Model Y. The first thing that just strikes me when I get in here is just how much smaller it feels inside the Y. Now that's not to discount the Y. The Y is a nice car, and I had a 2021 Model Y Performance and really love the car. Actually, is a great car to drive. It's just from the scale of it inside, it feels so much smaller than the X. Biggest things that took me a second to get reoriented with when I got inside of here is just this area right back here. You know, our X has the screen behind here, as well as having the screen over on this side. It also took me a second to remember, in order to shift in and out of gear, I had to come over here and use the stock. I've started getting pretty used to having it right over here on the screen. And more importantly, I have mine set up to auto shift in and out of park, so it does reverse or forward without any intervention on my part. The thing was, it took me a second to get used to the stock again over here for the windshield wipers. On the X, mine is a button right over here on this side. So aside from being a little sparse in here, I still find the Y to be a pretty comfortable car. These are not perforated seats. Now I'm not sure if these were the white seats, if those would be perforated. Mine was a 2021 and those seats were not perforated. Overall, the seats themselves are extremely comfortable, I'd say. You know, I mentioned that the Y feels so much smaller than the X, and that's absolutely true. If you have a larger family with some kids and whatnot, having owned both the Y and the X, I'd have to say I think the X would be a better selection for people that have kids. There's just more space in here. If you're a person that just likes a smaller feel of a car, I will say the Y feels very nimble when you're driving it around. It just feels like quick and agile, like you can get in and out of the traffic. Now, it's not to say the X doesn't feel agile. It really does for such a surprisingly large car. It's just the X has a larger, more luxurious feel to the inside of it, and the Y has a little bit smaller, a little bit more of a sports feel to it. The area where I'd say the Y favorable to me over the X is this whole area right up here. As you guys know, the X is completely open up here. It's like almost like it's got a receding forehead, and the sun visors are super small on the X. These are the Ys. They tend to cover more of the windshield, so it keeps the sun out of your eyes a little bit better. And in that regard, I think the Y has a little bit of an edge over the X. Overall, though, love the size of my X. Don't think I'd go back to a Y at this point at all. But let's talk about what we're really here to talk about today, and that is the X needing to go in for service. So the story behind the repair, for I don't know, a month or so, we've had a little bit of an issue with the driver's passenger door in the back, those Falcon Wing doors. It's only been opening up about halfway, and I let it go for a little while because I don't have that many people getting in and out of my back door, just my grandkids occasionally. So kind of put it off just because, you know, getting a car serviced is usually kind of a hassle. And finally had a day where it opened up halfway and then it didn't really want to close. And I figured probably better go ahead and get it taken care of. So one of the benefits of having a Tesla is you can schedule the service straight through the app on the phone, and it's all real super easy, which is really a good thing actually, because it's one of the bad things about Tesla is it's really hard to get a hold of anybody over the phone for customer service. So anyway, I was able to open up the app, scheduled in service on it, and you click on the button for service and you choose a date and time that's good for you. You type in the comments of what you're needing to have serviced and then click submit. And then typically a little while later, you'll get a response back saying that your service is being reviewed. And any commentary, if there's going to be a fee on it, it'll put in there what your estimated cost is. Now, fortunately for me, our car is new. It's got 14,000 miles on it. So technically, I wouldn't think it would need service at this point, but you know, it is a car. The service is completely covered under warranty, no charge to me. The other thing was I had some meetings scheduled for work on the day of my service. So I put a note in saying that I needed a loaner if at all possible. And fortunately, Tesla was able to give me this Model Y that you see us riding in today as a loaner car. So pretty happy about that. Made the whole situation pretty much a non-event. And we are on our way back now to pick up the X. I've got a message around noon today, dropped it off at 8:30. Got a message around noon that it was ready for pickup. So it's now 4 o'clock and we're on our way over there to pick it up. Some kids sledding over there. So overall, driving the Y again, not a bad experience at all. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, X definitely feels larger, has a little bit nicer ride. I think it's quieter in the cabin, but the Y, one of the things it has going for it is it just feels nimble. You know, you can get in and out of traffic with it nice and easy. It's small. Overall, not a bad driving experience at all. So one of the other things that's kind of fun about the Teslas are the ability to look at your Sentry cameras wherever the car is in the world. As long as there's a cellular signal, you can pull the cameras up on the car. So I'm able to look at the car right now and see exactly where it's sitting in the Tesla parking lot. And I can see that it's setting one row back and facing straight toward the building. So to make it quick and easy to swing in and pick it up. The other thing I have to say is how convenient the entire process is. So for this Y, the only thing they had to do was give me the key card. And for the Y, you lay it down right here behind the cup holders to start it up. In the Model X, the difference is if you're using a key card, you lay it right up here where you charge your phone. So fortunately, we don't really ever use the key card in our Model X since we use our phone as the key. So here we are. Got several Cybertrucks hanging out over here. And based on my Sentry mode, our car should be setting right over here. We've got a red Model 3 beside it, and what have we got on the other side? A Model S. And there she is. So we're going to go park this somewhere, turn in the key, and then nothing else to do with service. I don't have to stop in and see anybody. I just jump in my car and take off, click a button saying I'm picking it up, and it's as simple as that. Quick and easy, much easier than dealing with the normal dealerships. Look at all the Cybertrucks I got up here sitting plugged in and charging up.